analysis and dissection, as well as professional level day trading education, you've come to the right place. My name, excuse me, is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to do exactly that. Give you professional level quality day trading education, all for free, right here on YouTube and on X. And today we're going to be discussing trades that seemingly didn't work. If you look at the charts, they didn't work, but yet a guy is green on all three trades. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So give me a sec. I'm going to fire up these charts and we will rock and roll. Hopefully you guys had a good day. Okay, so now that we're in the charts here, folks, I'll go over the trades and then I want to have a conversation with you guys. So first up, this trade on SPY opens up, kind of pops into, did not give us the short. We wanted the short. That was dictated this morning because we opened up below moving averages in the the previous close. We didn't get that. So then you have to look for a long. And it came flying down into the level, protected by low of day. It came right into low of day from yesterday. So you enter. There's a little bit of a bounce, not much, pulls back, holds low of day, add into that, comes up and fails, but it fails pretty hard, right? So I only walked away with about 163 bucks on that trade. So the exact same trade was essentially taken here on Qs. Qs opens up, dips down, comes within about, I don't know, 40, 50 cents of that level. Start in. Once it bounces, that trade is in session. So I take it as that. Enter, pay myself, right? And then I just continue working it on the way down. And this here is, a pretty typical example of, a trade that didn't necessarily work. And it's still easy to manage. It doesn't look like much, guys. And this is where a lot of people get all fucked up. If you take a look from lows here, one sec, two highs of this, that is $1.10 of points per share. So 1 point per share. That's all a guy needs to make money in options, folks, right? So is this a failed trade? I don't think so. I mean, my day doesn't reflect that. So executed that multiple times, paid myself, ended up locking in 1,863 on that. And then what I noticed is we came down right down into this day's lows and this trend on SPY, both at the exact same time. So they both came flying into a lower support level. So execute that trade and work it over and over again. And just racked up $3,295 on this trade. So these trades here, although seemingly they look like they didn't work. And now I want to have a little bit of a conversation with you guys. I see this all the time. And what happens is when a trade doesn't give what you want for follow through, as a new and inexperienced trader, you freak out. Now, it might not be the freak out that you're applying to the word freak out. It's not like you're throwing shit, but you wanted more out of it. Well, let me put it like this. Who fucking doesn't want more out of any given trade? It's not about always getting a massive amount of follow through or multiple points per share. This is how, and I've explained this so many times to my members about, this is how I make my money. I make the bulk of my money throughout the year on failed trades. Why? Because I pay myself the exact same way. As soon as I enter into that trade and I get a bounce of any kind, that trade is in session. It's going. It is live. If it's bouncing in combination with failing the previous close and the 9 EMA on both of these charts, both SPY and Qs, I don't want to take a long, right? I don't want to, but my strategy dictates that I have to. So, when you're forced to do something you don't want to do, and you just kind of do it and get it over with just to say you did it. That's what this is. Apply that to those types of trades. You get in, you enter, you pay yourself. You enter, you pay yourself. That's it. You're not looking for follow through because it's already been noted. We don't want the long. We don't want it. We wanted the short. But what happened? We didn't get the short. It didn't give us the proper professional execution and entry on that short. So you can't take it. So then you have to, right? You don't have to, but you understand what I'm trying to get at here. Your strategy dictates that you have to take that trade. So just like anything else in life, if you don't want to do it, but you're kind of fucking forced to do it, you get in and you get out and you be done with it. And that's what today is. And if you can let that soak in and sink in and stop always thinking that these trades need to give you a massive amount of follow through, you'll start having results like you see me have. This is how I have the results and the life that I have. This is how I do it. Because I understand, and it was said multiple times before the market even opened, I want the short. This is a day that we want to go short on because of what it's showing on the daily chart. I'm not making that up. That's not a bias. That's what the chart is telling me. So the market opens up. It does not give me that long, right? It doesn't, or that short, apologies, that short. It doesn't give me that entry. So now I have to take that long. So knowing that we want to go short, this will probably sell into a lower price point. We don't really want the long. First reactions only. That's it. And whatever the fuck that first reaction is, that's it. SPY came right into that level. Okay, one sec. Let me blow up these charts a little bit here. Let me get back into the charts. SPY came right into that level. Qs at that time had a support level. Let me get that one sec. $0.50 away. 50 cents becomes a reasonable and acceptable amount to start in on a almost $500 stock or ETF as it comes into that level. I start in, it produces over 1 point per share. That's enough for me, man. That daily chart tells me I don't want to be in this long. So I'm trying to get in and out as quickly as possible. I want nothing to do with it. I'm simply taking it because that's what my strategy dictates. It's one of the things that so many traders have an awfully hard time with. The word strategy and what it truly means. The only way for strategy to work is taking that trade 100% of the time, whether you want to or not. Now, don't get my words twisted. I'm not saying you have to take each and every trade. But if it fits your strategy, and for me, I'm looking for first directional pick, right? First directional pick was down. It came into support. I will execute that, even though I don't want to do it. I have to, because that's what my strategy tells me I have to do. Strategy takes all thought and thinking, self-thought and self-thinking out of the equation. We don't want to think in these trades, guys. Thinking leads to bias, which leads to piss poor decision making. This isn't about necessarily decision making. It is about reaction to your strategy. So I've been hit up so many times today, and it always happens. And this is why I'm sure you can sense that little bit of frustration in my voice, because it happens every day. Do you know, I had a meeting with Adam this morning. And the last time a trade didn't work was on February 10th or 12th, a month away, something like that. I could be wrong with that date, but it's 1 month away. It's a month ago that one of my trade plans didn't work. Now, if you wanted to count these as trades that didn't work, I don't care. To me, they did. My P&L reflects that. My trade management reflects that. But if you want, for the sake of argument, to say it didn't work today, I would be okay with that. We're talking one trade plan in 30 days didn't work. We execute 2 to 3 trades per day. Do the math on that. That is my hit rate with my strategy. This isn't a strategy that's been taken from anyone. This is a strategy that I developed. It seems very simple. There is more to it than what you see, obviously, for free on YouTube. So if you think you got it all figured out, you don't. This is over a decade of experience translated to a strategy, and it has been refined over the course of over a decade. So when I see people piss and moan, or like they get all fucked up over one trade, that tells me you have to get your head out of your ass and start accepting what this job is. This job isn't a job where you're going to always be paid. Now, your skill set over time can actually show that you can do that, which I do every day. Every day. This is why I do these recap videos. It's for transparency. And not to mention, for those that aren't in my service, you don't realize that these trades and trade plans are all given prior to the market open, and we all execute the same trades. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of traders can vouch for these trades being the trades that we take. All I do is simply execute my trade plans. That's it. That's all it is. So when we have one trade in 30 days that doesn't work, which it did though, because they both produced over a point per share with on the options, that probably equates to about 10-15%, which is more than enough. Why are you freaking out? It's a question you have to start asking yourself. Now, I just got hit up in support from a member, and she's never asked any questions, and she's even said, this is the first time I've ever reached out. Can you clarify? And I told Luke to message her back and just tell her I'll go over it on screen share. And I'm going over it a little bit right now, because I'm not going to write something out in an email where I need the charts to show you, right? But it's about bouncing on cues 50 cents away. And I said, if it doesn't bounce within 50 cents, it's not going to work, because members waited for this. You have to start into that level. Don't take that. It just failed because of the daily chart. The daily chart told me this is going to sell off. We don't want the long. We don't want it. If you execute the long, you better be quick. Every day is slightly different, guys. This is what makes trading difficult. But when you hone in on a strategy and you take that difficulty factor out of it and you simply execute and pay yourself on first push, like I say in every one of these videos, my entries, they always look the same. I take the exact same trade every single day. It is fucking Groundhog Day. This is what I do. I take the exact same trade and I pay myself the exact same. I strip off the majority of my contracts or shares, however you want to look at it. It doesn't matter. Whether you're an options trader or an equity trader, no difference on how this strategy works. Pay yourself on first push. Whatever happens next, who gives a shit? Even on a trade, look where you take a look here on SPY, right? Where it washed hard hard when it cracked. I still locked in a couple $100. That's because of how I pay myself. I never hold lots after that first bounce. Whether it bounces coming into it, if this was a trade that we were looking for a long, I would continue in on that trade on cues, but it's not. Remember what I've said probably a half dozen to a dozen times during this recap. I don't want the long. My strategy wants the long, so I have to take it. I don't really want it. It's probably going to fail, but I always know I can get a first reactionary bounce or rejection, long or short, out of that level, always. And I do. And I pay myself on that first push. So because one trade doesn't work in 30 days, and to me, these worked. Like I said, the P&L reflects it. But if you wanted to count it against it not working, who gives a fuck? Why are you even thinking about it? It is such a drop in a bucket. When your hit rate is work out whatever percentage that is, 98%, 99%, whatever that hit rate is, why are you thinking and focusing on the one thing that didn't work, on the 1%? Why are you focused on the 1% instead of the 99%? Who gives a shit? Who cares? Really, what are you striving for? Perfection? We don't strive for perfection. We strive for mastery. And mastery is understanding that perfection doesn't exist. So that's what I have for you tonight. If you want to learn from a professional that actually gives a shit, that can show you how to do this and tries to actually get through to people, come to tricktrades.com. If not, enjoy my free content. But this is the free stuff. It's going to be all over the place, man. You're going to have to put those puzzle pieces together on your own. I can't do that for you in a YouTube setting. So you'll make it with this free content, but it's going to take you probably 3 to 5 times longer. It's up to you. Either way, if you got all the time in the world, by all means, man, enjoy it. That's why it's here. That's why I do it. I enjoy doing it. But if you understand that freedom needs to be had ASAP, come to tricktrades.com, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Adios.